Are you not entertained? This is politics. We had another vote last night on a greatly trimmed down bill, and it failed. The House is set to vote on a new bill any minute. Okay, I can't say I'm upset with the fact that yesterday's failed, but we don't even know what's in this next one. I don't even think the congressman did. I remember I told you after Trump's first assassination attempt that this was the next 4 years, and it was going to be us versus them. That is what we are seeing now. And by us, I mean like you and me. Every other normal person that goes to work for 4, 5, maybe even 6 months of the year to contribute to this debacle we call government. It's us versus the people who are voting for another bill that I guarantee you none of those congressmen have read, and they won't read before they vote on it because it's happening now, hoping they get enough sheep to fall in line for it so they can all go home for Christmas and stick us with the tab. They still don't understand these new rules and how they work after the elections.
And a tweet changed all of it? Can you imagine what the next 2 years are going to be like if every time the Congress works its will and then there's a tweet or from an individual who has no official portfolio, who threatens members on the Republican side with a primary, and they succumb?
Yeah. Look, dude, if you guys did what you said you were going to do on your campaign promises, then we wouldn't have to operate this way. But you people ran up a $36 trillion debt, and you've had increased the regulatory burden on Americans to such an extent that it costs more to comply with the laws that you guys made than we make from the damn businesses we own. So excuse me for wanting just a little bit of oversight on what the hell you're doing down there. The next 2 years are going to be awesome to answer your question, not for you. And I'm glad you're angry, Congressman Neal. That's how we have felt for years. You're just mad because now you're being held accountable. Look, I know Trump endorsed this last bill last night, but he seems totally fine with shutting it down now. And my theory, I think him endorsing yesterday's bill was more of like a litmus test than actually trying to get it passed. I think Trump was like licking his finger, sticking it in the air, and while we're still on Biden's watch, by the way, so he can that Biden checks during military funerals, so he can figure out who's going to vote which way and where the winds fall in Congress, okay? And notorious anti-Trumper Chip Roy, he fell right into the trap. But I will say, look, Chip Roy said all the right things on the floor last night.
Increasing the debt, $5 trillion. And what are you doing in the same bill? $110 billion unpaid for. Because you never have any ounce of self-respect to go out and campaign saying you're going to balance the budget, and then you come in here and pass $110 billion unpaid for.
Okay, again, says all the right things, but let's talk about self-respect, okay? Little walk down memory lane. Chip Roy supported Ron DeSantis in the primary, if you can remember that. That was bad enough. Chip Roy praised Mike Pence for January 6th. Chip Roy called Ken Paxton to resign based on allegations that Paxton ended up beating and were found to be totally bogus. Chip Roy supported McCarthy during the Gates ouster, and he recently called MAGA a circular firing squad. So, when I say this was a test to see who would shake out where, there you go. It was interesting, though, because a lot of super MAGA people, like congressmen, also voted against it, which probably didn't happen without Trump's knowledge. Just to name a few, people we like Tim Burchett, Andy Biggs, these guys are great. Kat Kamek, I mean, she's fantastic. Paul Gosar, he's the only guy to ever do a tooth extraction on the House floor. Wesley Hunt is a super MAGA guy. Nancy Mace, known to be a supporter. Tom Massey, Corey Mills. I mean, these people are notably in Trump's camp. Beth Van Dyne. See, unlike Democrats who almost exclusively voted against this bill, which is how you know it was better. Not great, but better. We're not mindless automatons on the Republican side, and that's a good thing. The left, though, is trying to make it seem like they are the free thinkers. It's actually hilarious.
And you know what? They got scared because President Musk told them, President Musk said, don't do it. Don't do it. Shut the government down.
When purple hair dye meets an IQ of 61. What I find funny is that even Democrats seem to have forgotten that Biden is still president for like another month. What are you talking about, President Musk? Your guy's in charge, or supposed to be in charge, we think. This woman that recently spent She spent her last 5 minutes during some committee advocating the transportation department to buy more female crash dummies, like they're any different in an accident, from a party that can't even define a woman anyway. Congress is like a low-rent circus, especially in the left. Look at her. That's a real person in Congress. My state, actually. They hate Elon now. Look, he was on your side. You guys pushed him away. We're happy to have him, but they're going to stop at nothing to delegitimize him now. Perhaps the least intelligent member of Congress, though, Jasmine Crockett, weighing in. Quote, which branch of government does Elon belong to? Asking for a friend. The people. He's a citizen. You know, who you work for. Also, Jasmine, this you right here with Alex Soros? Asking for a friend. Please lecture me more about billionaires in politics. Bernie Sanders also weighed in. Elon is the richest man in the world, is threatening to unseat elected officials if they do not follow his orders to shut down the government during the holidays. Are we still a democracy, or have we already moved into oligarchy and authoritarianism? Dude, George Soros has been doing this with Democrats for the last, I don't know, like 5 decades. Now all of a sudden you care about this? Real genuine with your 3 houses, right? These people better get it through their head. They don't get to do what they want anymore. The election marked a major shift. It's not like some talking point. This is happening, and they hate it. Democrats are running some tired playbook, though, saying, oh, Republicans denied disaster relief. Look, Mike Johnson, you want to dig out of this really deep hole you're in right now? Just put up a clean disaster relief bill right now. Vote on that before anything else. Get Trump to back it and watch the libs melt down. They can't help themselves. They reflexively, they are against anything that Trump is for. They just are. It's like a disorder. But stop with this like last minute bill crap, man. Put a bill out. Release it to the public and give it to the representatives so they have time to read it before they vote. Stop trying to hide the contents by like having 5 minutes before the vote, okay? That's not making us trust you more. We once had a guy propose a bill that you had to read the bill before voting on it.
For goodness sakes, 600-page bill, and I got it this morning. Not one member of the Senate will read this bill before we vote on it. We're going to vote on this in the next 30 minutes. I and Senator Lee and others will object to this. We'll have a point of order that our own rules say that it has to be posted online for 48 hours. 600 pages. No one will read it. No wonder our approval rating is 10%. Nobody knows what we're voting on. I have a bill in Congress that says we should read the bills before we pass them. It says that we should wait 1 day for each 20 pages. So we'd be given time to read 600-page bills.
Yeah, and that bill died in committee. It didn't even make it to the floor. They don't post these things online. They don't make it transparent. They don't let us see this stuff, and that's by design. Folks, this is like my new hobby at this point, bill watching. And this is going to be Doge for the next 4 years. It's like watching sports for me. I don't really watch sports ball, so this is it. Sit around, maybe read this whole bill, which I did with the new bill last night, find a bunch of absolute trash, and we're just going to put it on blast here. I hope you're along for the ride. And if enough of us scream about it, by the way, for long enough, and enough of these people lose their seats, things will change. That's the only language they speak in D.C. By the way, they still get paid if the government shuts down. Remember that. They exempted themselves from everything else. But if you don't think it's a big deal, if you don't want to get involved, yeah, sure, your life might be easier, but your kids won't be. That's why I'm so passionate about this, because I want them to grow up in the same or better country than I got to.
He loves the Constitution. He fights for what's right. He hates the bad guys. He's a freedom warrior. He's your freedom warrior. Watch Carl Higbie every weekday on Newsmax.